Good evening, fans, and welcome to the Bay League Game of the Week. Tonight's contest features the Leuzinger Olympians visiting at North Torrance High School against the North Torrance Saxons. Tonight's contest is a pivotal one for the Olympians because they find themselves back in the hunt for a playoff spot. Of course, North Torrance has had the good fortune last week of snapping a 19-game losing streak that spanned over 3 seasons. I'm Rufus Washington along with my colleague Dan Simeon. Let's talk about what the Bay League standings are as we get underway for tonight's contest. Peninsula, of course, as you know, right now riding high on top of the league, 5-0 overall, 5-0 in league play, 8-0 overall. Santa Monica, very surprisingly, Dan, is in second place at 4-1. They defeated Hawthorne last week, 26-24. Inglewood at 3-2, and that's a bit of a surprise. They came down to Leuzinger last week and were shut out, 19-0 at Olympian Field. Hawthorne, of course, we expected a little more from them. They're in the middle of the pack at 3-2 and basically out of the running for the league championship. And Leuzinger, you see right there in the 5th position, 2-3 in league play, 4-4 overall. And of course, Torrance and West Torrance with North at the bottom of the league standings at 1-4, 1-7 overall. But still, a lot of things can happen. There's still a lot of shuffle left in these Bay League standings.
Well, there's no question about it. As you look at the standings, there's been a lot of great games going on, and these teams are fairly even. There's a lot of parity there. Of course, Peninsula's way out in front, but it's really a lot of great balance. And for the North High Saxons, just an outstanding effort last week. Our heartfelt congratulations to them for winning. It's been a long, long drought for them. Great effort last week. Leuzinger had a tremendous effort last week that you saw when they shut out Inglewood. A great game. Nothing like the Bay League here in November.
And the captains are being escorted out to midfield by the referees. Let's throw it down to our camera on this down that's in the middle of that huddle and hear the opening coin toss.
Okay, guys. There's the head. There's the tail. I will catch it. If I don't catch it, I'm going to flip it again. You going to call it? Loud and clear in the air. Tails. And it is. Heads. Okay. Home team's won the toss. Get the sheet. It's going to go with the field. All right. Blues won the toss. We're going to defer to the second half. Your choice. Kick, receiver, defend the goal. They want the ball. Which goal you want to kick? Which goal you want to kick? All right, put you back there. Come here, White. Here, guys. Have some talk here. You guys captains, take care of your people. We're talking across the line. We're talking with other players. So you can't see this over.
And there you see the referee giving some opening instructions to the captains from both teams. Gives us a chance to set the officiating crew, which is headed by the referee, Dan Rich. The umpire is Bob Yoakum. The back judge, Ernest Hammock. The head linesman, Ralph Walker. And the side judge, Scott Varanish. Leuzinger won the opening toss. They call heads, and heads it was. And there you see the Olympians taking the field. And the Olympians have elected to receive, so they'll get first crack at it tonight, Dan.
Well, again, they're coming off of last week's great game. They're sky high for this game tonight. And, of course, the North Torrance Saxons also sky high as well after a great victory. Should be a great game. Again, nothing like the Bay League action. We're seeing a lot of parity this year. Both these two teams, you're going to hear a lot from them. Leuzinger is just about all juniors. They've got some great ball players and as well, the North Torrance High Saxons. It's going to be a great game.
And you got to really feel good for North Torrance. I mean, a 19-game losing streak that spans over 3 seasons is tough to take, but these kids have shown up every week, and a couple of times that we've seen them over the years, they've played spirited ball, and fortunately things turned their way. I'm as sure they were as excited about their victory last week as the Atlanta Braves were with their World Series championship. So happiness is in the air, and Leuzinger, of course, as we mentioned, was quite happy with the defeat of the highly ranked Inglewood team, the Inglewood Sentinels. So the players have taken the field, and we're just about underway, fans, here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60 as we bring to you the Bay League Game of the Week. And there's the kickoff. It sails down the middle of the field. Looks like it's going to be taken by Marquise Williams. He's got some running room. And Marquise Williams brings it out to near the 40-yard line where the Olympians will go on offense, 1st and 10.
Good crowd here tonight. As always, the Bay League brings everybody out.
Actually, a very good crowd, Dan. We were here a bit early, and it was a scant crowd then, but they've started to fill in. Of course, that's typical of Southern California fans. Come late, leave early. And this is where they get it from. Ken Riley, of course, under quarterback. Riley dropping back the pass. Had a great game last week. This time he's going to be brought down, though. Brought down in the backfield. A loss on the play for Leuzinger of about 7 yards. Going to make it a 2nd down and 17. That was Wilfred Lopez in on the stop for North.
Jacob McCombie on the outside linebacker came in very quickly on that play and forced the quarterback to go inside.
So it's a 2nd and 18. They call it officially for the Olympians. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. There's a pass out in the right flat. Reception is made. They get just across the original line of scrimmage. On the reception for the Olympians was Jermone McGee.
We've seen Leuzinger the last few weeks. You've seen them last week, and I'm really impressed with Kenneth Riley as a quarterback. He's got great touch, he's got a great arm, and watch for him to pass this evening.
Of course, as we mentioned to you last week, fans, Leuzinger has made a couple of changes. One big change along their offensive line, and that's number 55, Jason Miller, who now plays right tackle for the Olympians. They had a student who transferred. This time the Olympians show a double slot right. Now we're going to have flag on the play. Looks like it may have been delay of game by the Olympians. It's a 3rd down play, 3rd and 9. Of course, the penalty may back them up an additional 5, and it does go against the Olympians. Make it a 3rd and 14.
Sorry, sir, that didn't help. They seem to come out of the huddle, but rather slowly on that, and a little bit unsure.
Here you see your Leuzinger offense on your screen. Jeter at left tackle, Chris Petch at left guard, Sean Stone, Troy McMillan, and Jason Miller, whom I was just speaking of, form that front wall for the Olympian running attack. And their job, of course, is to protect the quarterback. Here you see a looping pass, and the reception is going to be made by Marquise Williams. There is a flag on the play, and Dan, this may go against Marquise. I think I saw him give a little shove as the ball was coming down. Let's see.
I think you're right. I think Marquise gave a little left hand to the back of the North Torrance defensive back, and its preliminary indication is that it was broken up, but I think they're going to bring this one back. That ball was up for grabs. This young man can't throw it.
You talk about looping a pass, that's really looping one. Which sort of reminds me, and I don't know if he was watching the sports talk shows last Sunday morning, the NFL pregame shows, but one of the features in terms of the pass that you just saw, fans, where they were talking about Jeff Blake, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, and how high he throws the ball, and very similar to the pass that Ken Riley just threw. It's going to be a 4th and very, very long for the Olympians, a punting situation. Joey Olifatuli, whose name we called quite a bit a couple of weeks ago when North played Hawthorne, back to receive. Doesn't look like he's going to have a chance to handle it. And he doesn't. Ball's going to be down by the Olympians. Down there for the Olympians is number 44, Miguel Panty.
Miguel Panty, 5'8". He's a wide receiver on the offense. He's a junior, a number of juniors for this Leuzinger team that's going to come back next year.
Going to try to get a replay of that last play, fans, and here it is. Here's the pass by Riley. I believe right here you're going to see the interference that was called. If we can get it, not quite in your screen, but what did happen was the Leuzinger receiver pushed off to get the ball. North on their first play from scrimmage, hands off to number 45. That's Kevin Sperry.
Ooh.
Exactly. If you're accustomed to watching North football, that's what you say. Who?
I actually went, ooh, because you and I called the game at Hawthorne a few weeks back, and Alafatuli was the main guy that was running the ball. In fact, I think Joey Alafatuli ran it 30 out of the 35 times that they had the ball on the ground.
First down play for the Saxons of North Torrance. And this time the Olympians stop them for no gain on the play as they hand off once again to Kevin Sperry. Eddie Wright, of course, is a quarterback for North Torrance. He wears jersey number 11. I made a mistake there, fans, and I apologize. Eddie Wright's number 11 for the Olympians. He made the defensive stop. There you see him on your screen playing the defensive end position. Giving pursuit to the quarterback, and he gets there, but not until after the quarterback had gotten the pass away. Falls incomplete. North's quarterback, of course, is Andy Darlack. That pass intended for Brett Seeger. But excellent pursuit that time by Wright for the Olympians, because he was bearing down on Darlack, Dan.
He sure was. Eddie Wright had, if we could have seen his eyes, they were probably the size of acorns or watermelons, because he had them just ready, and then he gave him a good pop after he released the ball.
So it's a 3rd down and 10 now for the Saxons, operating from the 42-yard line of Leuzinger. Darlack drops back to pass. Darlack goes left. Pass is incomplete. Brings up a punting situation now for the Saxons. On the coverage, well, it was Brett Seeger that the pass was intended for. Or excuse me, Joey Alifatani, I'm told. Fourth and 10, dropping back to pass to punt for the Saxons is Scott Schmitz. Back to receive for the Olympians, of course, is Marquise Williams. Schmitz fumbles the snap. Now he finally gets it away. And out of all that, Dan, a very fortunate set of circumstances for the Saxons.
Well, I tell you, with that bad snap, it looked like he was going to be buried, but had the presence of mind to kick it and still got about 25 to 28 yards on that punt. So heads up play by North Torrance. Seems like it's going to be a passing game tonight, sir.
Exactly. Well, Leuzinger has started to show the pass more and more. Of course, they've got a fairly balanced attack. Keith Miller leads their ground attack. Keith Miller, you'll see on your screen in a moment, it's number 4. He has 600 rushing yards already this season for the Olympians. Ken Riley calling the play at the line of scrimmage. They send a man in motion this way. He drops back. He looks pass. He does pass. He's going to overthrow his intended receiver. Pass was intended for Damon Thomas. Looks like also out there in the flat for them was Jerome McGee. Riley led him just a little bit too far. But as I was coming to the fans last week, his arm looks real good.
Ooh. He has got a great release. Very, very strong arm. When I first saw him, he reminded me of Latu of Hawthorne, but I think he has a stronger arm.
There you see the Leuzinger offense on your screen. Riley at quarterback, Miller and Fredrickson in the backfield. Wide receivers are McGee and Williams, along with Curtis Chambers as a tight end. They keep it on the ground. Keith Miller. He's going to be short of the first down. It's going to be a 3rd and 5 for the Olympians from their own 30-yard line, fans. We've got 7:17 left in the first quarter of a scoreless contest. Rob Fredrickson and Chichoke Asamuga come on. Coming off for the Olympians is Jeffrey Gapello and Jermone McGee. 3rd and 5. Let's see what Leuzinger pulls out of the playbook here. They keep it on the ground. They're going to be stopped about 3 yards short of the first down. That was Fredrickson, I believe, with the carry. No, not Fredrickson. Rather, it was number 21 for the Olympians. And that, of course, is Chichoke Asumuwa. Chichoke Asumuwa. Okay. So it's a 4th down for the Olympians now. Back to punt is Hector Diaz. Back to receive, of course, is number 3 for them, and that's Joey Olifatuli. And Olifatuli is going to be brought down at about the 44-yard line. So the Saxons will get their second crack at it from their own 44, where it'll be 1st down and 10 with 6:07 left in the first quarter. In on the stop for the Olympians was Rashawn Cook.
Well, both teams have had the ball a couple of times. They've sputtered a bit. Defense seems to be on top of the game. Let's see if the offense can pull it off now with North.
Olifatuli in the backfield. They hand it off to him. He's got some running room around the left side. And this guy can really burn. He turns it up, finally pushed out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. 35-yard run by Joey Olifatuli, finally pushed out by Hector Diaz.
Here we go again.
Here,
see it. This is a
here
great
you
play.
see on the replay, Olifatuli, the good-looking running back, tucks it under. He's got some running room. Keith Miller giving pursuit.
God damn it.
And there he's finally pushed out of bounds by number 13 for the Olympians. We've been told that that's DeJuan Scott and not Hector Diaz as shown in the program. Fumble recovered by the Olympians. Keith Miller with the fumble recovery for the Olympians.
Great hit. What a terrific hit. We can see this again. That was a tremendous hit. And a turnover will give the ball to the Olympians. First turnover of the game. Here we see it again. Watch this hit. Ball's going to be handed off. Just a tremendous hit. Watch this. This Olifatuli, boom. Number 4 strips the ball. And it's a great recovery by Keith Miller.
So give him the strip and the recovery to Keith Miller. So the Olympians now get it 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. They keep it on the ground. It's Rob Fredrickson, I believe, with the carry. We got a flag on the play.
Misdirection play. Fredrickson went to his left, right outside the left tackle, picked up a couple of yards for the Olympians. And we've got some discussion going on.
Flag looks like it's going to be against the Olympians, Dan, and by the way they're backing up, looks like this may be a major penalty that goes. The official still hasn't given a signal yet.
Well, he was talking to Olifatuli, and he's the captain. He's everything. I mean, he's on offense, defense, every place.
Okay. The official never really gave us a signal as to what the call was. We've got 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Leuzinger now backed up to their own 22-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 22 for the Olympians. Now we've got a timeout on the field being taken by the Olympians.
Going to try and figure out what that penalty was. Looked like
Gives us a chance
looks
to
like it
tell
was a
you
clipping.
fans what other games we have in Bay League action tonight. Peninsula is visiting Inglewood. Of course, that game primarily benefits Inglewood if they're able to pull off the win, as it'll keep them in the running for a share of the Bay League crown. That's at Coleman Stadium. Torrance is at Santa Monica. Santa Monica has really been on a roll. Santa Monica also in the running for a share of the Bay League crown. Hawthorne's at West Torrance. Hawthorne at 3-2. Long shot at best, you got to think, for a share of the crown. And Leuzinger, of course, in the hunt for a playoff position. They're 4-4. They need a victory here tonight, a victory to close it out next week. And let me remind you, fans, that is a Thursday night game at Hawthorne High, Hellcat Field. The Olympians keeping it on the ground. Very little gain on the play. Carrying the ball for him was Shijoki Asamoah. And on the stop was Gabe Richards for Torrance.
They tried to move outside on that run as they had their guards pulling, but fortunately not too much gain there. Watch for a quick pass.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 21 for the Olympians from their own 23-yard line. Needing a big play here. Here's the option to Keith Miller. Miller coming around the side, has some running room before he runs into a host of tacklers from North Torrance, led by number 55. That's Jason Save. Also in on the stop was Jacob McCamey.
What you'll see on the replay here, now watch. It's going to be an option play all the way. Fake of the handoff. Nice pitch as number 4, Keith Miller, coming around, fakes, goes outside. Nice block there by number 14, Marquise Williams. And he picks up the first. Well, it's actually close, although they've got 3rd down. I think that's a first down, sir.
Actually, it's going to be 3rd and 11. That was 2nd and long
right.
for him.
Sorry,
It was 2nd and 23. Now 3rd and 11 from the 32-yard line.
Here we see it again. There's great. Now watch the fake in, out, and then he comes out to the outside. There's blocked. 2 men are taken out by number 14, Marquise Williams.
There you see a penalty being called against the Olympians. It's going to be another delay of game penalty. It's going to cost them 5 yards. It'll make it a 3rd and 16. We've got just over 3 minutes left here in the first quarter, fans, of a scoreless contest. Riley under center. Riley fakes the handoff, drops back to pass, goes left, hits his intended receiver. It's going to be short of the first down, however. Excellent defensive coverage there by Torrance on the play.
That's the number 13, Jawan Scott. And Alafatuli was in on the tackle. Here we see it again. Fake the handoff, stripe drop back. He's just got a great arm motion. Nice reception, but number 22 for North, and that was David Morris in on the stop.
Nice punt by the Olympians. Joey Alafatuli fields the punt, takes a knee at the 41-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Saxons from their own 41-yard line.
Get over with come on. Sideline is too goddamn crowded.
Tonight was Parents' Night here at North, as all of the players were escorted their parents onto the field prior to the game. It was nice to see.
So 1st and 10 for the Saxons from their own 41. They fake the handoff. It's an end around to Alafatuli. He's got some running room, picks up the first down. Crosses midfield, gets down near the 44-yard line before he's finally brought down.
Well, Alafatuli, great run, but Jeffrey Gapalu, number 6, was very, very close and almost had a hand on him. Would have resulted in a loss, but a nice pickup for Alafatuli.
Can't hear him no more.
And if I'm still on mic, and I believe that I am, once again, they keep it on the ground. My headset's gone out, fans, so I'm not quite sure. But we'll keep working right through it. They keep it on the ground. It's going to be a second, and looks like it'll be about 2nd and 7 for the Saxons now. Ball is spotted at the 41-yard line. We've got 1:40 left in the first quarter. This has been a rather long first quarter, Dan.
I think it has, sir.
Once again, Oliver Fatuli gets it. Crosses the 40-yard stripe. It's going to make it a 3rd and long.
Great hit in there by number 44, Miguel Ponte. Oh, Miller made the hit. I tell you, we could hear it up here. In fact, I think I lost a contact lens on that hit. What a great hit.
3rd down and 5 for the Saxons when they come back to the line of scrimmage. Just under a minute left in the first quarter. Oliver Fatuli, the deep back. Drops back to block. Pursuit there. Here's a pass. They get the pass away. Big hit put on number 6 for the Saxons. That's Brett Seeger. Hit made by Chris Rogers for the Olympians.
Chris Rogers was all over him. Actually had his arm on him. The catch was still made. Great catch by North Torrance. Keeps the drive alive.
First down on the play for North Torrance, however. We're under 30 seconds here left in the first quarter. This probably will be the last play. It's 1st and 10 for them from the Leuzinger 27-yard line. Joey Olifatuli is the man they hand it to. No surprise there. Olifatuli with running room. Goes around the right side, gets down near the 10-yard line. Certainly inside the 20. Looks like they're going to spot him at about the 15.
Well, here we see it again. Nice handoff. Nice run. Watch this now as he's going to go to his right. He's going to Olifatuli all the way, but right there, number 32 almost had him. Bruce Sua was close. And Olifatuli, he's a jitterbug. Tough man to bring down. Nice run.
And Leuzinger spends their 2nd time out of the first half as they call timeout on defense here.
Surprised.
Coach Bobby Greer goes on the field to give some instruction to his players. Actually, he doesn't. Coach Greer is still on the sideline here. The defensive coach is out there for him. Leuzinger, of course, clad in the white jerseys with their silver pants. North Torrance, when they take the field, you'll see them in the blue jersey tops with white pants.
It's a beautiful night for football.
Well, fans, as you know, next week is the game. We'll be at Hawthorne High School for the big rivalry game. Always a fun game for Dan and I to be in the comfortable confines of Halcap Field, except I don't think it's going to be all that comfortable when you've got a game between Leuzinger and Hawthorne.
No, sir. I'm going tonight. I'm going to see if I can get a seat.
We'll be there, and we hope you'll join us next week from Hawthorne High School as the Cougars take on the visiting Leuzinger Olympians. 1st and 10 now for the Saxons. Andy Darlack, the quarterback. Now we got flags on the play. A lot of movement on the line. We'll have to see how the officials call this.
Might have been North, I think, number 78. Legal procedure, he was going to pull to the left. Looked like it was going to be Olifatuli was going to run wide to the left. And the count may have been on 3, and he thought it was on 2.
Nah, I don't know what happened.
So it's a 1st and 15 now for the Saxons. They're operating from the 19-yard line of the Olympians. They put a man in the slot along with a wide receiver left. They keep it on the ground, however, to Olifatuli, and he's going to be brought down by number 44 for the Olympians. And that, of course, is Miguel Apanti.
You know, they just, in watching that play, the Olympians have the man, but just can't seem to bring him down. Number 52 for the Olympians, John Ibany was in there, though this will be called back. But that's about the third time. They've just had him, and then, unfortunately, just can't get enough momentum.
Well, the Olympians are certainly a young team, Dan, and this week it looks like they're reverting back to some of their bad habits, and that's a lot of arm tackling, or some arm tackling, as we've seen here in the first quarter with 7 seconds ago. Last week they played good, solid, fundamental football, which is how they were able to defeat a very good Inglewood team. They were wrapping guys up and bringing them down. So it's a 1st and 23 now for the Saxons. This drive started at their own at the 15-yard line. There's a sack on the play. It's going to push them back to the 35-yard line, and that's the end of the first quarter with Leuzinger pushing them back on defense. The Olympians showing some very spirited defense there, Dan, to end the first quarter.
Watch this as the quarterback goes back, and there's really no room for him to do anything. Great hit put on there by number 11 for Leuzinger, Eddie Wright. And again, it ends on a good note for Leuzinger. The defense, their defense has always played spirited this season. It's been a great effort. But you're right, it was a long first quarter.
Very long, and on this drive, as we begin the second quarter, North had 1st and 10 at the Leuzinger 15-yard line, Dan, and through a series of penalties and a couple of sacks, they've been backed up to their own 33-yard line.
2nd and a mile.
Darlak drops back to pass, goes across the middle. Referee signals it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Pass is incomplete, intended for number 88, whom we don't have in our program.
Chris Montalvo, number 86, sorry. And Chris Petch in on the stop.
Yes,
So it's a 3rd and 30. As Dan said more appropriately, 3rd and a mile. Darlak dropping back to pass. Darlak being pursued. Darlak throws it away. Pass falls incomplete. It's going to be 4th and long. That was Miguel Panty in the pursuit who knocked it down for the Olympians.
Miguel Panty, we've called his name a few times tonight. He seems like he's on afterburners this evening. He is everywhere. We'll watch him on defense.
So a huge defensive stand by the Olympians as North Torrance had 1st and 10 from the Olympian 15-yard line, and the Olympians just backed them farther and farther away to force a punting situation out of that. Scott Schmitz is the punter, back to receive. Let's see if that's a normal return man, Marquise Williams, and it is. There's a punt. Williams doesn't get a chance to handle, goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the Olympians will take it at their own 20-yard line with 11:46 left in the first half. It'll be 1st and 10.
And who was down there first but Joey Alafatuli?
Was there a flag on the play?
I think there is.
There seems to be an indication that there is. And there we see it right near the midfield stripe.
Yep.
You see the referee picking it up.
I think this may be against Leuzinger. Running into the kicker, which is now going to give North an opportunity. 1st and 10.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Saxons. Leuzinger charged with roughing the kicker. A big mistake there. Alafatuli with the carry. Alafatuli turns it up. Alafatuli is going to be brought down. But that was a huge break as Jeffrey Capello was in on the stop for the Olympians. But that was a huge break for the Saxons, Dan.
It sure was. Unfortunate for, and here's the play, Alafatuli going to the left and coming in, as we see, number 54, and then In on the tackle. That's Chris Petch again.
And we'll see if we can get that penalty again for you somewhere in this drive, fans, where they call roughing the kicker against the Olympians. They gave the ball back to the Saxons. It's 2nd down and 2 from their own 12-yard line. No surprise, Oliver Fatuli gets it. He's being strung out. He now turns it up. Looks like he may have enough for the first down. In on the stop for the Olympians.
Jokey.
Along with Keith Miller.
Jokey, we're going to try.
So it's a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line now for the Saxons.
Full house.
They hand it off to Oliver Fatuli. Oliver Fatuli. Keith Miller gets him by the shoestring and brings him down. Number 4, Keith Miller for the Olympians, who, as all your Olympian fans know, doubles on offense as a very, very fine running back. In fact, the leading rusher for the Olympians.
Keith Miller is a sophomore. Mamma mia, is this team going to be incredible next year.
He and his brother Jason, very integral members of this youthful Leuzinger Olympian football team.
Jason is a sack master.
And there you see the Olympians taking another timeout, and by my count, that's their 3rd of the half, so it may be their last one. And just to complete the thought, their younger sister, Erica Miller, who's in the 9th grade, is a varsity cheerleader. So when it comes to Leuzinger sports, the Miller family is well represented, and Dad, of course, is always at the game. He's here tonight over his shoulder, cheering us on, and always quick to provide a useful piece of information that we aren't always privy to that helps us understand the Leuzinger program.
It's good to see. It really is, and it's good to see as much involvement. High school sports is where it's at. It's always great to see it.
So, the Olympians, once again, their defensive backs against the wall. 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. 10 minutes left here in a scoreless contest in the first half. Darlack, the quarterback. Once again, they come with a full backfield. They hand it off to Oliver Fatuli, and he's hit in the backfield. Big pit put on by number 60 for the Olympians. That's Troy McMillan.
Troy McMillan. We called his name a couple of weeks ago. He had some great hits in Leuzinger's game. And there he was again. Great pursuit.
And this time the Saxons are forced to take a timeout as they face a 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. We've got 9:47 left in the first half, fans. Still a scoreless contest, but the Saxons of North are threatening once again. Seems like every time we look up there, the Olympians find themselves with their backs against the goal. So far, they've held up well. Let's see if they can do it again here.
Yeah, they sure have. They really have. This drive seems like it started last Thursday, but the defense is doing a fine job.
As we said, both of these teams are playing with renewed confidence. North with the win last week, snapping the 19-game losing streak, and it seems like 19 is a key number. Leuzinger defeats Inglewood at home by a score of 19-0.
I'll play that. I'll probably lose.
But the Olympians very much in the hunt for a playoff position, realizing they need a victory not only tonight, but also next week.
Yeah, they're going to have to win the rest of them.
So it's a 3rd down and 9. 9-yard line. 3rd and goal, we should say. They're at the 9-yard line. 9:47 left in the half. Here's a pass over the middle in the flat. We couldn't see it. Looks from the indication that it was completed. However, it's at the 2. It's going to be short of the goal. And the Torrance coaching staff, that was Brett Seeger with the reception. And the coaching staff for North has to make a decision, Dan.
I think they'll go for it. They they've worked this one out. I think they probably will. Brett Seeger, 5'11", 175. He's a senior. And it's decision time, but I got a hunch that North is going to go for this one. Joey Alafatuli.
Well, the Olympians are going to be put to the test here, no doubt.
Yep.
This is where they need to play, and now you've got what would appear to be, do we have a flag on the play or do we have a timeout?
I thought it was a timeout, and then a delay of game.
Well, that may change the strategy,
I think you're
Dan,
right.
because now you go from a 4th and goal at the 2-yard line to a 4th and goal from the 8, and that's a little different effort.
It sure is. Although the watches seem to be rather quick tonight in delay of game penalties, but they didn't even give it a shot, so maybe it was planned.
So Torrance sets up in the field goal formation. Joey Alafatuli will be the holder. There's a kick. It's up, and it's good. So with 9 minutes left in the first half, Torrance goes on top by a score of 3-0 over the Olympians.
Actually, I think it was a moral victory for the Olympians. It seemed like they had spent the last hour and a half in their own end of the 50-yard line on this drive. And through some unfortunate plays on their part, the penalties, looked like North Torrance was going to get in there, but a penalty against them, the field goal, but I think, again, the defense held up well.
Well, you say, Dan, it was the big penalty in the punt situation where they had held him. In fact, that pushed him back 30 yards off the original line of scrimmage to force a punting situation. They're called for roughing the kicker, and it gave Torrance new life, and Torrance was able to convert it for 3 points. So Leuzinger drops 3 men back. On the far left, number 14, Marquise Williams. Number 83 in the middle, Rashawn Cook. And over on the near side is number 8 for the Olympians, and that is Jermone McGee. It's a squib kick. It's going to be taken as fumble by one of the upmen. We got a loose ball, fans. Let's see. And looks like West has recovered. We had a loose ball on the play. Brett Seeger recovers for the Olympians. Let's see if we have a replay on that, fans, because
looks like, unfortunately, that Fredrickson just unfortunately couldn't find the handle on that ball. And Seeger picked it up, brings the crowd into this game.
And also gives Torrance excellent field position at the Leuzinger 38-yard line. Here you see the replay, fans. You see the ball loose there, and the Leuzinger men are unable to get there in time. Keith Miller in on the stop for the Olympians, along with number 44 for the Olympians, Miguel Panty. They drop him for a loss on the play. Looks like it's going to be a loss of about 4. We'll make it a 2nd down and 14 from about the 41-yard line.
Keith Miller, 6 feet. He's a sophomore.
So Leuzinger's string of 5 consecutive shutout quarters ends here in the 2nd quarter. Once again, that's Joey Alafatulu with the carry. Gets across the original line of scrimmage. That was Curtis Chambers in on the stop for the Olympians. It's going to be a 3rd and long, however, as the ball is going to be spotted at the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 6 for the Saxons. They keep it on the ground. Alafatuli with the handoff. Alafatuli has running room around the left side. He picks up the 1st down before he's finally pushed out of bounds, and looks like he's going to be down near the 20. If you know North Torrance, you know the ball is going to be in Joey Alafatuli's hands more times than not, Dan.
You called his number a number of times when Hawthorne played them a few weeks back. And again, a great run as Alafatuli went through right to the right side of right tackle, left tackle, picked up a great big gain,
First and 10 for the Saxons from the Olympian 24-yard line. This time the Olympians key in on him and they get there to bring him down. Looks like for a loss on the play.
Keith Miller. That hit knocked my other contact lens out.
So Leuzinger needing to play some good defense here with 7 minutes left in the first half. They trail by a score of 3-0 on the field goal by the Saxons, which came after the Olympians were called for roughing the punter. It's a 2nd down and 13 from the 26-yard line.
Brett Seeger's out wide to the right.
Now we're going to have a timeout taken by the Saxons. This is their 2nd timeout of the half.
Yeah, interesting. As many timeouts as there are. They've got one, and I don't believe Leuzinger has any left. 6:36 left. Where's the telecard? Let's find out how much is in the account.
Exactly. We can guess the number, but all we need to know is what the name is on the card.
There you go.
6:36 left in the first half, fans. North Torrance leading by a score of 3-0 over the Olympians. 2nd down and 13 from the 26-yard line when we come back to action. Because as we mentioned, the Bay League race right now really in a jumble. A couple of teams still with a shot at first place. Of course, they would need some help. A Peninsula victory tonight gives Peninsula the outright title. Of course, and this is the way you like to see it. They're having to play Inglewood for that, and Inglewood, although defeated last week by the Olympians, a very good team, and Inglewood knows that a victory tonight against Peninsula, and they've got them at home, keeps them in the hunt for that Bay League title. Back to live action here. Darlak drops back the pass, goes over the middle, pass incomplete. Looks like it was intended for number 88 or either Brett Seeger. It's really hard to tell.
Brett Seeger seems to be their money guy on the pass when they want to pass the ball fairly long.
3rd and 14 now for the Saxons. Leuzinger needing a huge 3rd down play. They put a man in the slot on the right side, would seem to indicate pass. Here's a high snap taken down by Darlak as he climbs the ladder. Oh, and nearly intercepted by the Olympians. There was Marquise Williams who nearly came up with the interception for the Olympians. Makes it a 4th and long now for the Saxons. We'll probably see another field goal attempt here, Dan.
Probably right, but Marquise, here we see it now. A high snap takes some time off that play. But watch Marquise Williams. If he gets that ball, he's on his way. There's nobody between him and the goal line.
Excellent defensive coverage by Marquise Williams for the Olympians.
This is going to be a long one.
There's a kick. It's up and oh! It hit the bottom of the goalpost, Dan, and got away and bounced away. I mean, that was on line.
I'll tell you, that was a long field goal. You get an injured player, number 6 for North. That's Matt Ramirez, but boy, that kick was a long kick. And for the Leuzinger Olympians, the goalpost was their buddy.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Olympians. This is the first time they've had it on offense in quite a long time. They set up shop at their own 20-yard line. Keith Miller in the backfield. Keith Miller gets a handoff. Picks up good yardage on the play. Will make it a 2nd and short for the Olympians. That was Wilfred Lopez on the stop along with Hiram Travis. Clock continues to run as we're under 6 minutes left in the first half now. Leuzinger having caught a break on the missed field goal attempt. Looking to scratch here. Right now, They're being shut out by a score of 3-0. We've got 2nd down and 5.
Marquise Williams is lined up to the left.
The right side of the Torrance defensive line jumps. Looks like that's going to give the Olympians a 1st down.
This is going to be an interesting call because it looked like the left tackle moved first for Leuzinger, but no, he was drawn. Well, looks like an encroachment.
And although it wasn't in your camera screen, one of the things that we just saw, or in your picture screen, I should say, was one of the officials giving some instruction to one of the Leuzinger linemen that said, hey, the play was over and you jumped him. Don't do that again, son. 1st and 10 for the Olympians. They keep it on the ground. Once again, Keith Miller with the carry for the Olympians. We've got 5:25 left in the first half here, fans. Leuzinger starting to put together some positive momentum, Dan.
Well, the running game, as they start to move the ball, they're moving it up. Keith Miller looking good as they run through the line. The offensive line has some pounds on North Torrance. Let's see if they can move the ball upfield.
Ken Riley, of course, the quarterback out of the I formation. They give it to the first man through, who's got some running room. He's going to be brought down from behind by Joey Olifatuli, but not until after he made a big gain for the Olympians. That, of course, is Bruce Sewer, who was the up back in the I formation, and that caught Torrance completely off guard, Dan.
Well, they went right up the middle. Watch it. It was a tremendous call as Sewer went right up the middle, and unfortunately we won't see it here, but it was a great call, and if it wasn't for Olifatuli, it would have been 6 points. Watch this, right up the middle. Sewer going, great blocking at the point of attack. The offensive line just moved everybody out, and he had a great hole.
So it's a 1st and 10 for the Olympians. Got a flag in on the play. Keith Miller with the carry. And let's see what this flag is. But that play, Dan, brought the Olympian crowd to life.
It sure did. It brought some of the dads up to life, too. And this looks like it may be a holding call against Leuzinger, which would be a tough blow for them. Sewer, what a great run. That was a tremendous run. Great offensive line blocking. They just, as I said, they moved everybody out to give Sewer that hole. He ran right up the middle. And Joey Olifatuli saved a touchdown.
Yeah, I was gonna
And they mark it all the way back to the 32-yard line, where it's going to be a 1st and 26 for the Olympians. A big penalty against the Olympians there. Ken Riley under center. Marquise Williams goes in motion. Riley hands it off to Keith Miller. Keith Miller picks up a couple of yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and still a mile. And one thing, fans, I can tell you on these calls, I mean, the referee simply is not giving a signal after the call is made. Normally, a guy signals to both sides what the call is, and we've not seen him do that, so it's very difficult for us to pick up exactly what they're calling, and we do apologize for that. We'll try to get a word to them at half, ask them to see if they can be a little more clear with the calls they're making. 2nd down and 19 now for the Olympians from the 27-yard line of the Saxons. Once again, they hand it off to Sewer. This time, the Saxons are a little more prepared, and they pick him up, or they stop him, I should say, after a very short gain on the play.
Chris Peck, number 54, was pulling to his right from the left guard position, had a great block. Unfortunately, it was filled by the inside linebacker from North Torrance to stop the running attack for a small gain.
So it's a 3rd down and 19 for the Olympians. 2:40 left in the half. They need to get down to the 6-yard line. Boy, they come with a wishbone backfield. Here's the pitch back to Miller. Miller fumbles it. The ball's loose. Let's see if the Olympians recover. I don't believe they do. This is going to be awfully close. What's the indication? Still no indication from the officials. And they say that Leuzinger recovers, and it's going to be a 4th and very long. In on the recovery was Shishoki Asamuka.
They're trying. Heads up play by Joki, getting that ball, because that really would have turned this crowd nuts on a recovery.
And the Olympians going to be forced to go for it here. We've got 1:50 left in the half. 4th and 21 from the 27-yard line. You got to think end zone here, Dan. Drops back the pass. Riley loses the pursuit. Riley decides to keep it himself. Riley's going to turn upfield. He breaks a couple of tackles. There's a flag on the play. He gets down near the original line of scrimmage. There is a flag on the play, and that could possibly be a face mask, Dan.
Looks like it from here. It looked like there was some kind of movement or grab by the defense. And if it is, this will be good for the Olympians.
No, they indicate that it's against the Olympians. Look like they call clipping from what I could see of the officials' indication. Looks like it was clipping against the Olympians. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Saxons now. They spot the ball at the 14-yard line. We've got 1:22 left in the first half. Clock continues to run. Joey Olifatuli in the backfield. Joey Olifatuli gets the ball. He's got some running room. He's finally brought down by a host of Olympians on the play. Olympians, of course, here just want to play good defense and get out of the half, with this margin being no more than it is at 3-0. Olympians make a couple of defensive changes. Keith Miller comes off the field for him. Once again, they hand it to Olifatuli. Olifatuli looks like he's going to have enough for the first down, and he does. Clock stops with 30 seconds left. That was Curtis Chambers for the Olympians in on the stop.
He doesn't seem to be carrying as much as he did on the Hawthorne game. Of course, North is passing more this time around.
Yeah, but you still know he's on the field, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
This time they hand it off to the up back, trying to pull the same play that Leuzinger did, see if they could catch him by surprise, and it fools nobody. And that'll probably be the last play of the first half as we wind it down here. And it is indeed, fans. So after one half, the Leuzinger Olympians visiting at North Torrance High School against the Saxons find themselves trailing by a score of 3-0. The touchdown, of course, set up by the Leuzinger Leuzinger roughing the punter. Gave Torrance the ball back on a punting situation. They went on to kick a field goal. They had a second opportunity to score again on a field goal, hit the crossbar, bounced away. So the Olympians find themselves very fortunate to only be down by a score of 3-0 here at halftime as they continue to fight for a playoff berth. I want you to enjoy the halftime festivities, fans, and we'll join you back here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60 at the top of the second half. And welcome back to the second half, fans. You see the Leuzinger Olympians taking the field for the second half of tonight's contest as the Olympians right now visiting on the road, trailing the North Torrance Saxons by a score of 3-0. Low scoring first half with the 3 points being set up by a tough call against the Leuzinger special teams. A recall for roughing the punter gave the Saxons second life, and now as we start the second half, of course, Leuzinger will be kicking off to the Saxons. So Dan, What do we expect this half?
Well, I tell you, both offenses just couldn't seem to get things charted. The defense for both teams were played very, very well. I look for the running game for Leuzinger to start opening up. And of course, Joey Alafatuli for the North is going to be carrying the ball quite a bit for the Saxons.
And there's a kickoff by Chris Petch of the Olympians. Looks like it's going to be handled by, no, that's Brett Seeger. Brett Seeger breaks the line. He's got some running room. He's out here near midfield, cuts it back up, and finally brought down. Chris Petch turned him back inside. Looks like Rob Fredrickson is where my tongue got stuck at.
See it again.
Is it on the tackle? Here you see him going downfield. We've got some other important news to pass along to you as well, fans. Here you see on the replay, Seeger breaks the original containment, and Fredrickson gets a hit in there on him after Petch turned him back inside. So Darlack brings him up to the line of scrimmage, and going to have offsides against, looks like that's going to go against the Olympians, Dan, as number 6 for the Olympians, Jeffrey Capello, jumped off. But the most important things, fans, as they mark off the 5 yards, we've been informed by Keith Miller's father that Keith Miller suffered a dislocated shoulder there at the end of the first half. He's out of the game. In fact, he's already been taken to receive medical attention, and his father's left the stadium. So we certainly hope that Keith Miller will be well, but that will put a major crimp in the Leuzinger attack, Dan, offensively and defensively.
No question about it. Keith Miller playing outstanding on both ends of the ball, and certainly we hope that that his shoulder is fine, and our best wishes to him. And
there you see him on your screen, number 4, Keith Miller, as we mentioned, a fine running back, leading running back for the Olympians, as well as a heck of a defensive player. Out of this game with a dislocated shoulder suffered late in the second quarter. But the Olympians will carry on nonetheless. Joey Alafatuli with the carry is going to be stopped after a short gain. Needed only about 4 for the first down. Didn't pick it up, however. Jeffrey Capello in on the stop for the Olympians. So it's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Saxons. They're at the 42-yard line. Actually, it should be the 38. Scoreboard shows 42. Well, I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. It is the 42 that they're at. They keep it on the ground. Alafatuli again. I'm going to allow myself a freebie, fans, to correct myself again. They were at the 38. They got it down to the 36, and the scoreboard is now corrected. That was Curtis Chambers in on the stop for the Olympians. We've got time out for an official measurement. We'll go ground level, fans, down to our world-class cameraman, Jose, to see if we can see just how close this is. Just inches.
Nice shot, guys.
Don't stay low, Chris. Don't stay low. Chris, 4 points.
So it's a 4th and inches. Decision time again here early in the second half for the North Torrance coaching staff.
I think this is going to be 4th and Alafatuli.
4 points.
Of course, the North Torrance coaching staff consists of Buddy Kuhn, Bill Peters, Jim Clark, John Oddie, and Mark Alvilla.
Curtis, watch the quarterback sneak!
4th and inches. You can bet the wrench they'll keep it on the ground, and they do. They pick up the first down on the play. Jeffrey Capullo in on the stop, but not until after they had picked up the first down. So the Saxons come out marching. They've got the Olympians already on their heels. We're just underway in the second half, fans. 9:35 left in the third quarter. Leuzinger right now trailing by a score of 3-0. Needing to make the big defensive stop here, Dan.
Absolutely. Again, North getting some confidence as they move down the field.
They fake the handoff. Here's a pass out in the flat, nearly intercepted by the Olympians. That was Jokey in on the stop, or who was the closest man to that pass, I should say. And with some help from Marquise Williams, Dad has finally gotten the pronunciation of Jokey's name correct. Here's a play, however, they keep it on the ground. That was Oliver Fatuli with the carry. A gain of 7 is going to be short of the first down marker. Jokey Asumaway in on the stop for the Olympians. Also, David Covarubio in on the stop for the Olympians. So it's a 3rd down and 4 now for the Saxons from the 30-yard line of the Olympians. Oh, and that's going to hurt. That's going to be against the Olympians. Looks like it was Jeffrey Gapello who's jumped offside. And there's not much give on this call in high school football, Dan. It's almost like if you jump, that's it. Normally in the pros and in college where you can jump and get back, once you move, you've encroached.
They got you. They have you, and of course at this level it's a little tough. You're moving, and it's a little bit difficult to stop. But in any event, tough call for the Olympians.
So it's a 1st down play for the Saxons. Joey Olifatuli looks like he's going to be close to another 1st down. And he is. That seems to be the indication for, no, it's going to be a 2nd down play, I'm sorry.
Here we see it again, Olifatuli coming right through the middle of the line and is stopped there by Sua and then picks up about 6 on the play.
Makes it a 2nd down and 3 for the Saxons now from the 18-yard line. Leuzinger really being tested defensively tonight against a team that's only won 1 game over the last 3 years, and that win came last week. Here's Darlack running out on the bootleg, throws it, incomplete. Pass intended for Joey Olifatuli.
Bruce Sua in on the pursuit.
Gives us a chance to mention, Dan, we've seen a lot of different things over the years at a number of different high schools, but I think the fireworks show that we saw tonight at North Torrance is the most unusual thing I've ever seen at a halftime performance at the high school level.
I'm still thinking it's going to happen again.
So it's 3rd down and 3 now for the Saxons from the 18-yard line, trying to draw the Olympians off. They don't jump. Olifatuli gets a carry, and he was slowed up at the line of scrimmage and finally brought down. Looks like short of the 1st down, and there no flags on the play. Makes it a 4th down.
Here we see it. Here's the replay. The handoff. Nice block thrown in there by number 45, Kevin Sperry. Allows the runner to pick up, Olifatuli pick up some yardage. As Sperry came down the line.
That was a very small space that he sneaked through there. So it's a 4th and 1 from the 16. Torrance showing that they're going to go for it. And they do. Olifatuli gets a carry. Olifatuli picks up the 1st down. And now he's down inside the 10, maybe at the 5. And it's 1st and goal to go for the Saxons of North Torrance as they've come out here with the opening drive of the 2nd half, and they've just pushed Leuzinger completely into their backfield. Let's go to the replay. You're going to see the handoff here to Olifatuli. No surprise there. Man, he hits the hole and goes right through. And he's finally brought down by number 21 of the Olympians.
Nice job.
This time they stack him up at the line of scrimmage. That was Choki Asumaway on the stop. Bruce Sua that time made the stop for the Olympians.
Some great blocking there by Kevin Sperry on this drive. He's certainly making his presence known and springing Olifatuli for some runs. watch for that matchup, as Alafatuli would be going outside to the left.
2nd down and 7, just under 6 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter from the 7-yard line. Once again, Alafatuli gets it. Once again, he's going to be stopped. This time on the stop for the Olympians with the big play was Curtis Chambers. A big 3rd down play by Curtis Chambers. And let's see if they're going to test this Olympian defense again. We've got 5:28 left in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be a 3rd down and 6 now. And boy, they've got everybody in the backfield. They hand it off to Joey Alafatuli. Joey Alafatuli turns up. And he's hit there by number 32 for the Olympians. That's Bruce Sewer. And boy, we've called his name a lot of times tonight, Dan.
We sure have. Bruce Sewer, not only on defense but offense. Here's the replay, the handoff. Alafatuli, number 77, comes in on that play. Darrell Geeter requires a movement by Alafatuli to go to his left.
Yeah, let's go, defense!
And we're going to have a field goal.
High snap, and we're going to have delay of game.
He never would have got that off because that would have been blocked. Great penetration.
And Jeffrey Capello came awfully close to picking up a personal foul there. The whistles had clearly blown, Dan, and that would have been a huge mental mistake if, in fact, he had made that foul, because this looks like it's going to go against North Torrance.
You're not even connected.
No, I gave Mike my box. He gave it to.
Well, it was great. Great movement on the line for the Olympians. They great penetration. Actually, I think it's going to go against the Olympians.
And the headphones.
May have been offside. Because again, if that ball had got down and he tried to kick it, that would have been blocked.
Now we've got a timeout called by the Saxons.
They may go for it.
Well, it's going to be 4th and 2. Ball is spotted at the 2-yard line. Of course, a touchdown here stretches their lead to 9-0 with an extra point attempt. But right now, it stands at 3-0, and that, of course, is where Leuzinger would like to see it stay and get that ball back and start marching the other way, Dan.
Well, it's interesting. North Torrance has certainly had more of the drives in terms of driving the ball down the field tonight. At least at this point, the Leuzinger defense has been standing ground. They're going to need to hear, depending upon what North Torrance does. Alafatuli certainly has been a good ball player coming out of the backfield for 3 yards. This is going to be an interesting call.
And of course, tonight was homecoming night at North Torrance High School, and we salute all the participants from North High who were part of the homecoming court. We didn't get a chance to hear who the queen was crowned, but as we look at them in the program, there are 5 very beautiful young ladies, and I'm sure that one of them will go home tonight a very, very happy student. We saw it a couple of weeks ago at Leuzinger during their homecoming, and it is a big event to all the students on campus. And now they've changed their mind. They're going to go for it on 4th and 2 from the 2-yard line. They're going to pass for it, and it's completed. Touchdown. Touchdown for Torrance. And that dampens the spirit of the Leuzinger faithful here just a little bit, because that extends the lead now to 9-0. And once again, as we say, the team that came in with 19 consecutive defeats, Dan. Well, until 2 weeks ago, last week I should say, when they nailed down their first victory, are playing well again tonight.
Well, they really are. Again, the offense, they seem to be doing they've been playing very well. And this touchdown certainly is going to give them more momentum.
Here's the extra point attempt. The kick is up, and it's good. So with 4:29 left in the 3rd quarter, Leuzinger leads, or trails, I should say, by a score of 10-0. We're going to watch the replay here, fans, of that last play. There you see Darlack, the quarterback, drops back. passes in his flat. Number 88, who we don't have in our program, but we're told that that's Chris Montalvo, comes up with the reception for the touchdown. Juggled it a bit, but got control of it, got his feet down, and they put 6 points on the board for him. So Leuzinger now, Dan, really has a work cut out, and it's cut out in two ways. One, it's cut out on the scoreboard because you're down 10-0, and secondly, you're going to have to play the rest of the way without your leading rusher, Keith Miller, who, as we told your fans, has left the stadium with a dislocated shoulder.
This is going to be an important series for Leuzinger. They, again, have not really had an opportunity to do much offensively tonight. A good drive here would, again, shift the momentum back to the Olympians and take some time.
We would like to give an assist to the maintenance staff at Leuzinger High School who gave us a hand in getting some of our audio stuff back. Once again, the Olympians are fumbling the kickoff, and it looks like it's going to be recovered by Torrance. That's the second time tonight, fans, they've committed that turnover.
That hurts.
And this is so shocking, Dan, to see a team that played so well last week, and you're going to see on the replay here. First, that was number 32 who couldn't bring it down, got a hand on it, and of course number 32 for the Olympians, we all know him as Bruce Sewell, who in fact handles the ball. A little surprising there that Bruce Sewell, who doubles as a running back, couldn't get a grasp on that football, and that's a major turnover that goes the way of the North Torrance Saxons. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for them from the Leuzinger 30-yard line. They give it to Joey Olifatuli. Olifatuli running wild, finally brought down, but not until after he picks up nearly a first down on the play. Curtis Chambers on the stop for the Olympians. And they give him a gain of 10. You're going to see on the replay here, Olifatuli hits the hole. I mean, this young man doesn't need a lot of space, Dan, to make his move.
He certainly doesn't as he slips on through.
I mean, he can dance in the eye of a needle.
Absolutely.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line now. Once again, Olifatuli with the handle. This time picks up 3 or 4 before he's brought down. But Leuzinger clearly in some defensive trouble right now. And the turnovers are starting to come back to haunt him.
Kevin Sperry, again, laid another nice block on Miguel Ponte to allow for a gain. I'm really impressed with Sperry in terms of his blocking. He was originally listed as a tight end, but is lining up in the up-back position.
2nd down and 5 for North Torrance now from the 15-yard line. Once again, to keep it on the ground. It's going to be stopped short of the first down. A critical 3rd down play coming up for the Olympians. That was Troy McMillan in on the stop for the Olympians.
Big play. This is a big one. Olympians will need to stop him here.
We've got 2:40, clock rolling, left here in the 3rd quarter. North Torrance threatening again on a 3rd and 2 play. Leuzinger needing to play good D here. Olifatuli hits the hole. Olifatuli is going to be awfully close to a first down if he didn't pick it up. All right, we've got a lot of football left in this game, fans. We've got almost 15 minutes. Although the Olympians right now trail by a score of 10-0. And the Saxon offense is going to become very predictable. As it will
probably play really surprised me when they did it, so we'll have to.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Olifatuli lines up in the slot. You're going to have a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be delay of game.
Looked like Matt Ramirez may have just moved a bit. 78, and we'll bring the ball back. That is actually nice play. That will be nice for the Olympians as it goes from 3rd and 2.
Well, it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 14-yard line. Once again, they keep it on the ground. Oliver Fatuli with the carry for the Saxons. Takes it down to the 7. Give him a gain of 7 on the play.
Yeah, and the defensive ends for Leuzinger coming in hard, but just overrunning the play seems to be as Alafatuli goes inside.
Once again, Alafatuli with the carry, and he's going to score. Joey Alafatuli, 7-yard touchdown run for the Saxons. And now the Olympians do find themselves, after flirting with trouble all night, they do find themselves now, Dan, in a bit of a trouble. Here you see the replay. Oliver Thule, as we told you, needs only a very, very small hole to get through. That's all he got. He scampered 7 yards for the touchdown, and that extends their lead to 16-0 with the extra point attempt coming up. There's a kick, it's up, and it's good. So with 1:16 left in the third quarter, the Saxons of North Torrance take a 17-0 lead over the Leuzinger Olympians, and we're going to go back to a replay, fans, I believe of that last play, where you're going to see the run by Oliver Fatuli there as he goes through the hole. Curtis Chambers makes a dive at him, can't get him, goes in standing up. And right now, the Leuzinger playoff hopes are being dealt a serious blow, Dan.
1:16 left here in the third quarter. We do have a lot of game left, but the clock is starting to tick here. The Olympians will have to get something moving here on offense. And unfortunately, Keith Miller, one of their big players, is out. That's going to be a tough move, but Coach Greer's got to move in. Let's see if they can get something moving on offense.
And there you see Coach Greer shouting some instructions to his players. Right now, he's not pleased at all with the way they've handled this. And once again, Leuzinger will be faced with handling a kickoff return, something they've not done well tonight at all. And this one's going to sail into the end zone. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened to the Leuzinger kickoff team tonight, Dan.
I think you're right. But, you know, when that ball was going in, it just barely got over the line. So good news for the Olympians. Nobody touched it, but that could have really cost them because when it goes down that far, that's an open ball.
Well, they've got a couple of pieces of good news out of what's going on. One, they keep possession of the ball. It's 1st and 10. And secondly, there's still plenty of time left. We've got a total of 13 minutes and 16 seconds left in the game. Of course, that tells you that there's 1:16 left here in the third quarter. And quite frankly, they've not tested this North Torrance defense very much tonight. But they find themselves in a situation where they're going to have to put the ball in the air probably a little more than they would like to. Here's a pass across the middle. And that's going to be enough for a first down. That pass was completed to Curtis Chambers.
When they let him throw, or when the offense calls him, here we'll see it on the replay. Quick release. Chambers, nice catch. The tackle made in there by number 6, Britt Sager. But it was a nice play.
So it's a 1st and 10 for the Olympians. Ball out at the 32-yard line, at their own 32, that is. Once again, Ken Riley, Jr., I'm told, had an opportunity to speak at halftime to Ken Riley, Sr., and to be sure to mention that I'm Big Riley, he's Lil Riley. Got flags on the play.
I think that may be.
Would like to say hello to all our viewers in the state of Indiana as well. We were told by Jason William and Jason Miller and Keith Miller's father that a tape of the game had been sent back to the Hoosier State, Dan.
Well, I tell you, with all the things that goes on, sir, you may be doing the news in Indiana at some time.
Of course, I didn't have the nerve to tell him that he had violated our copyright law. Yeah. First down play for the Olympians. Riley drops back to pass. Hits his receiver who drops a pass. That was number 18. And now we've got a flag on the play. We've got a flag on the play as well. He hit his intended receiver who was Chris Rogers. Rogers dropped it. But let's see what the flag is. Let's go to the replay, fans.
Watch this pass. Watch this pass. He rifles this.
Excellent pass there. And there's what it was. Personal foul on number 33. That was Hiram Travis.
32 right here. Besides my brother. Is he doing good?
And there you saw the unsportsmanlike call that went against North Torrance, as Hiram Travis, number 33, laid a hit on the Leuzinger receiver well after the play was over. So from the 48-yard line of North Torrance, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Olympians. Riley dropping back the pass. Flags on the play. Riley pulls it down, keeps it himself, turns up. And he's going to be brought down by number 33 for North, Hiram Travis. But let's see what the flags are.
Penalty thrown in the backfield. Looks like it may be against the Olympians. There seems to be some discussion here, but I think it's going to be against the Olympians.
Looks like they're going to wave the flag off. And they do. And of course, fans, as I told you in the first half, we're working with a bit of a handicap because the official is only signaling to the north side what the calls are. So we're either having to guess or really stretch to see them. If there was no flag on the play, it's going to be 2nd and short. They keep it on the ground. They go right up the middle on that play. With the carry for the Olympians was Chichoki Asumaway.
Jason, fire!
Following the block of Troy McMillan, number 60, goes up the middle, 1st down. This is the kind of drive that's really going to help the Olympians out here.
And there you see him on your scene, Joki Asumaway. So it's a 1st down and 10 for the Olympians from the 33-yard line. Riley dropping back the pass. His dad standing over here near me looking at the play. Sees it fall incomplete. Pass looks like it was intended for, well, you see number 2. I just want to make sure I call it right, and that is number 2 on the Olympians. That's Damon Thomas. And that ends the 3rd quarter. So we've got 12 minutes left here, fans, with Leuzinger trailing by a score of 17-0, but they're on the move, Dan.
Well, they look good. They're starting to move the ball. Again, that pass, when you start looking at Kenneth Riley's throwing that ball, he's got a great touch, starts to zip, he's got great velocity on it. The offense seems to be moving here.
Well, the Olympians' playoff hopes ride on the next 12 minutes, Dan. They've got to make up 17 points if they hope to see any postseason action, because I don't think even if you go in and beat Hawthorne next week and assuming you lose tonight, I don't think 5-5 is going to get you into the CIF Southern Section playoffs.
Probably not.
Top. Okay.
We got
You see the referees conferring there at midfield. Or
maybe they
excuse
heard
me.
you and are going to make the calls this way. So let's see.
So it's a 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians from the 33-yard line of North Torrance. Riley dropping back the pass, has good blocking, throws out here in the flat, short hops it, however. Pass was intended for Jermone McGee.
McGee went down about 10 yards and then curled back. He was open. Unfortunately, the pass just underthrown a bit as Riley was under some pressure from the North Torrance defense.
So it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 for the Olympians, and this is obviously 4-down situations dictated more by the scoreboard than the clock. They've got to put some points up, and they need touchdowns, actually. They put a man in the slot. Looks like he may have gone too soon. There's no flag on the play. Riley keeps it himself, and Riley's going to be stopped short of the first down. But I would suspect, Dan, that the Olympians are going to go for it here. Let's look at the replay, though, fans. Dan, why don't you discuss this one? Here you're going to see Riley dropping back on the play. Now he steps up into the pocket. Still showing throw. Pumps it right there. That fooled number 33. And that helped him pick up a couple of yards. It's a 4th down and 2. Keith Miller's out of the game. Here's a pass in the flat. They pick it up. That's Rashawn Cook, who picks up the first down for the Olympians. And you got to remember, fans, that the Olympians are having to work here in the second half without their leading rusher, Keith Miller, who's rushed for over 600 yards. There you see Rashawn Cook with the reception. Puts a nice little juke move on the defender and picks up good yardage. As you can see, he's down near the 10-yard line. We've got 11:07 left. Timeout taken on the field. Leuzinger, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line when we come back to live action.
Nice. That was a good pass play again. Kenneth Riley throwing it outside to number 83, Rashawn Cook. Rashawn Cook looked a little bit like Jerry Rice on that play, as he had a nice juke move to sidestep the defensive player and put the Olympians within the closest. This is the closest they've been tonight.
Right. Well, we see number 4, Keith Miller, on the sideline. We thought he had left the stadium, but Keith's a gamer, and we see him still here. He's not on the field, but he is on the sideline. Number 4, Keith Miller. And in fact, he's still in pads, Dan.
He sure is.
We'll get a chance. I'm going to scan the lineup to see maybe it was. No, Jason is still there also, number 55. Beautiful pass there. Almost intercepted. Dropped, however, by the defender, Hiram Travis. Boy, you talk about having an interception in your hand.
I think, watch this play now. And I'll tell you, the great pass, but you know what? That pass was so hard that Travis didn't expect it to be that hard, and that's why he dropped it. And for the Olympians, that's actually good.
In fact, he almost held that long enough for that to be a reception and fumble. 2nd down and 10. They keep it on the ground. Good push by the Leuzinger offensive line, led, of course, by number 77 for them, and we know him affectionately as Darryl Jeter. Here you're going to see on the replay. And there's the push by number 77, and he moves the whole line forward. That was Joki Asumaway on the carry for the Olympians.
He got passed on that one.
Yeah. And of course, all you knowledgeable sports fans know, especially football fans, that you can't assist the run in the manner that Jeter did, but the officials didn't see it, so it's a good play.
We won't tell him.
Riley keeps it himself. Riley's going to be knocked for a loss on the play. You're going to have 4th and goal, and the Olympians are going to have to go for it here.
Looked like a busted play, but it really wasn't here in the replay. Watch, this was going to be a run all the way, and it was snuffed out beautifully by North Torrance.
So now we've got another timeout on the field, fans. Leuzinger, of course, is going to have to capitalize on this play. We've got 10 minutes, 10:01 to be exact, left in the contest. Leuzinger trailing North Torrance here at North Torrance by a score of 17-0. Their playoff hopes riding on their performance here over the next 10 minutes, quite frankly.
Well, this is going to be a big play, obviously. The Olympians playing so terrifically last week. Just can't seem to get the offense going so far. They'll need to make a good big play here on this effort, because with 4th down, 10 minutes left.
And there you see Coach Bobby Greer running off the field. That time he did take the field. They obviously 4th and 7 from the 10. They can pick up a first down. They need to score. Riley drops back to pass. Riley pulls this one down. He may be able to pick up the first. Boy, this is going to be close. I don't think he got it, though. And it looks like the signal is that he didn't. The Saxons held, fans. Here you're going to see on the replay, Riley drops back to pass. Sees an opening there, decides to take it himself. Pulls it down, eludes the first pursuer. Once he turns it back up, one of the defenders, the guy there, number 33, Hiram Travis, who got a hand on him just enough to pull him down. And that was a big, big play by Hiram Travis.
Great play by Travis as he just held off.
We've lost our headsets again, fans, but we're going to operate on the QT. They keep it on the ground. Leuzinger defenders are there to stack the play up. It's going to be a second down. In on the stop was Bruce Sewer for the Olympians.
Clock is not the ally of the Olympians as it's winding to 9:11.
Yeah. We're barely getting an audible sound through our headsets, fans, but we're going to continue to plow forward here. It's a second down and 11 for North Torrance. They keep it on the ground, and predictably so at this point. I know I've said that quite frequently, but if you have seen this team play before, they virtually disdain the pass. Their entire offense consists almost exclusively of running plays. Every once in a while, just to throw you off, they'll throw a pass out in the flat to number 6, who is Brett Sager. But otherwise, you're looking at mostly running plays when you watch North Torrance offense operate. It's going to be a third down and 11. We've got 8:20 left in the contest. Leuzinger needing 3 scores to win. That's a tall order. Here almost was one right there. Boy. Number 35 for the Olympians, C.G. Brown. We haven't called C.G.'s name tonight, and we were just about to call it in a big way because that had 6 points written all over it. There you see C.G. on your camera.
He could taste that one. He would have made it in 3 steps.
Exactly.
He picked that
Here
ball
you
up.
see on the replay, the pass. C.G. stepped right into the passing lane. Couldn't bring it down, and as you can see there, him grimacing in frustration, and what he knows was a sure touchdown. So that forces North Torrance to punt from deep in their own end zone. Leuzinger's going to get an excellent opportunity to return this. Marquise Williams picks it up. Marquise Williams heads toward the right side. He's trying to turn it up. 72 gets a hand on him. 72 slings him down out of bounds over on the right side. That was Kurt Vaughn, 5'11", 215-pound defensive lineman, just a junior. So with exactly 8 minutes left, and let's go to the replay of the punt, fans. As you're going to see there, very short punt. The Mobile Oil Refinery there in the background, those are the lights that you see. Marquise Williams picks it up. And they say it's important, that's Joey Olifatana that he got by. Back to live action. Here's Riley going for the end zone. Just overthrows his intended receiver, DeJuan Scott. That was DeJuan Scott. The pass was intended for number 13. May show up in your program as Hector Diaz, but we've been informed that in fact it is DeJuan Scott in costume.
Keith Willis, Dad, I think, told us that one. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
So it's a second down and 10 for the Olympians from the 24-yard line. Fourth quarter action, fans, being brought to you on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60. Riley throws over here again, hits his receiver. Short gain on the play. It's going to be a third and long still. I think they give him a gain of 1 on the play.
Joey Olifatuli in on the tackle.
Here you see on the replay, Miller dropping back to pass. There's this pass here to DeJuan Scott. Makes the reception, but for a very short gain. So now it's a 3rd and 6 for the Olympians from the 15-yard line. They need to get down inside the 10. There's a pitch back. It's going to come back the other way to Joki Asumaway. There's a flag, boy, you can see it. It's all going to go for naught. A definite clip on the play by the Olympians. You saw that one, and I'm sure on the replay we'll see it again. A bunch of flags came out on that one, Dan.
Well, again, on the misdirection, as initially the handoff is going to go, or actually the pitch is going to go as they're running right. Unfortunately, the ball didn't reach the running back, so on the play, Joki decides to run left, and unfortunately 77 for the Olympians, and that was Darrell Jeter.
Darrell Jeter caught with the block in the back.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen when you're running misdirection.
We're going to see if we can get Keith Miller's dad in here to give us some indication. Know that Keith is on the sideline. I believe he's told us that he has a dislocated shoulder, but he's still in pads. And okay, you can come right on in and tell us. We're being told that he is available to play. However, the coaching staff has elected not to put him back on the field at this point. So that's good news, fans, that Keith Miller is available to play. And here's a pass here. Intercepted pass intended for Marquise Williams. Mr. Everything for North Torrance, Joey Olifatuli, intercepts. And, of course, he knows what to do with it once he gets it, Dan.
Sure does.
And now you see a lot of frustration on the face of the Olympians all over the field. This team is completely dispirited here, Dan, with 6:09 left in the contest.
Well, again, tough call and tough play on the replay. You'll see it here. Joey Olifatuli just picking the ball off now, and he does what he does best, as you say. He's going to run for daylight as he goes and is just looking for the end zone. Some frustration there on the part of the Olympians, and finally brought down by Joki.
Hey, Tim.
But they're going to bring it back.
I can't hear, but I can hear your mom.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Saxons from their own 19-yard line. And a lot of hope in terms of the Leuzinger season, and certainly this game, just evaporated. Olifatuli with the carry, I do believe. Of course, folks, that raises a question. Will this be Channel 60's first year in over 7 years that we've not been in the playoffs? I don't think so. I think that team across town, the Hawthorne Cougars, stand a very good shot at getting in. Of course, they're on the bubble themselves now that we think about it, with the record of 5-3, Dan.
That makes next week's game even more important.
Exactly. I mean, more critical, because what could happen is you'd end up having both teams in the season with 5-5 records, and as we've said, I just don't think 5-5 is going to get you in the playoffs.
Leuzinger would like nothing better to defeat Hawthorne and eliminate them from the race. It's a great rivalry over many years.
So it's a 3rd down and 1 for the Saxons now, or they're showing 3rd and 2 from the 28-yard line. We've got a little under 5 minutes left. They keep the ball on the ground. Looks like it's going to be short of the 1st down. And of course, this is our first visit in a couple of years in North Torrance, and we see they haven't gotten much better at operating the scoreboard than they were the last time we were here. The guy changes it every couple of seconds. We make the call, fans, based on the scoreboard, as they do at all levels of football coverage. And you look up, and one moment it's one down and distance situation, and then it changes just like that. So we're doing the best we can. It's a 4th and 1, however, is the indication. Punting situation. There's a punt, a very, very short punt. Looks like it's going to sail out of bounds here on the Leuzinger side. In fact, it's going to be at the 47-yard line of North Torrance. So it'll be Leuzinger 1st and 10 from the 47. They've got 3:53 to make up 17 points, Dan.
Well, it's a tall order for the Olympians. Either way, the Olympians have played some great football this season. And I'll tell you, just looking over the roster, next year is going to be an incredible year for this team.
I'm out of it.
And, of course, we've all known that this was a rebuilding season for the Olympians. You've got a new coach. You've got a lot of young players. Ken Riley under center. Riley drops back to pass. Riley does pass to Rashawn Cook. Rashawn Cook has some running room. He's going to be out near first down. Looks like they're going to spot it as a first down for the Olympians.
Rashawn Cook on a curl-in play pattern. Watch on the replay here. 5-step drop. Actually goes to 6, and then nice throw as Cook comes back in, gets the ball. Nice play.
Here they flood the passing lanes once again. And touchdown for the Olympians. Marquise Williams with the touchdown catch. It was tapped by one of the defenders. And in fact, I have to be honest, fans, we had given up on the play up here in the stands. Marquise Williams didn't know, and he came up with the touchdown. There you see Marquise Williams, his dad joins us over here at the monitor, says he wants to see his boy once again. We're going to roll that replay in just a second. Of course, you can bet the ranch that Leuzinger's going to go for 2 here.
That was a great, great play.
I believe we're going to bring the replay to you after this play, fans. Here's the two-point conversion attempt coming up. Riley drops back to pass, and it's incomplete. And now we'll go back to the replay of an outstanding play by Marquise Williams. Here you see Riley dropping back to pass. He's going to look right and throw right. And as he does, the pass is going to be tipped by the defender. There you see it tipped by the defender, and Marquise Williams stays with it. However, it falls right in his arms. And the beautiful touchdown signal given by the official there.
Great.
And that gives some life to this crowd, Dan.
Great concentration by Williams on that play. He didn't give up on it for a minute, and turns out to be a big play for the Olympians. Let's see if they can do a little onside kick magic. Brought the crowd back in. It's nice to see a great play by 2 good players.
And great concentration, and that was the key thing on that play. Great concentration by Marquise Williams. Leuzinger obviously will be onside kicking here. I think everybody in the stadium is aware of that.
An interesting thing maybe to kick it a little over.
Chris Petch. And this doesn't go the necessary 10 yards. It's going to travel out of bounds. And Torrance is going to get it at the Leuzinger 49-yard line. We're going to go back to the replay. I believe the replay of that pass play, and yes, it is. Here you see Riley dropping back.
Great.
He's going to look right, throw right. The North Torrance defender right there gets a hand on it. Marquise Williams maintains his concentration, however. And there you see the official signal touchdown.
Great play by Marquise.
So the Olympians left with no choice, Dan, but to go for the onside kick. They're unable to pull it off, so it gives Torrance the ball 1st and 10 from the Olympian 49-yard line. And now they need to force the turnover. Quarterback keeper. And he's going to pick up a first down on the play. They knew the Olympians would be spotting on Joey Alafatula, and they caught him off guard.
No question about it. Alafatuli, the main man for North Torrance. Quarterback keeper caught everybody by surprise.
There you see a picture of Keith Miller on the sideline. as you heard his dad tell us earlier. In fact, he's in the game now. My apologies.
Well, it's good to see. It's certainly good news that he's not hurt.
Oliver Tooley this time with the carry. Oliver Tooley brought down from behind by the Leuzinger defense.
Oliver Tooley going to his left, running outside, but Leuzinger's defense stopped him and actually had good penetration, prevented him from going outside. And
Here you see the replay.
Here we see it right here as Oliver Tooley goes outside, but nope, he's not going to be able to. As great containment
by
number
Keith Miller,
21.
number 4.
Yep.
Young man whom we thought was out. Now there's a kid with a lot of heart, Dan. We were
true.
told, and by no less an authority than his own father, that he had dislocated his shoulder. But whatever was wrong, it's been corrected, and he's back on the field to play. And with your team trailing by such a large margin, a score of 17-6 with 2:17 left in the contest, he could have easily decided he had seen enough action for the night and that this game was out of reach. But instead, he wants to be back out there on the field with his teammates, trying to pull off the come-from-behind victory.
Well, a lot of great heart there. Again, the Olympians, great heart on the Olympians ball club this season. They played some great games. And again, as you had mentioned earlier, it was going to be a rebuilding year to some extent. A lot of juniors on this club and a good number of sophomores as well. But they've played very well. Next year is going to be an outstanding season.
That's right, and while the entire Leuzinger faithful, including us here at Channel 60, have wished them the best all season, we've all approached it with the understanding, as my colleague Dan Simeon said, that this was a rebuilding season for the Olympian program. They returned very few starters. They brought in a new coach, Bobby Greer, who had been with the program but never as head coach. And things have started to gel. They hit a rough spot there in the middle of the season when they lost 3 straight. But they got back on track last week against Inglewood. And if anything, Dan, it would appear, and this is not to be critical of them, but it's to talk about human nature. I think that they may have taken this team that until last week had lost 19 consecutive games just a little bit lightly, and thought they could come in here and get a victory just by showing up. But this North Torrance team has proven themselves to be a more than worthy opponent tonight.
Well, it's always tough when you're playing a club that's won 1 game out of the last 19.
4th and 9 now for North Torrance. They're going to punt on this play. Ooh. Marquise Williams back to receive. Will he get a chance to handle? No, he won't, as it's downed by North Torrance down around the 10-yard line. We've got 1:27 left in this contest, fans. And considering the fact that Leuzinger will probably be putting it in the air, that 1:27 may take us a while, Dan.
Well, you know, that punt, David Covarubio was in on that, almost blocked it. Had a terrific acceleration on that play and was very close to blocking that punt.
Well, let's talk about what they need in order to pull this out with 1:13 left. They need a quick score right now to start things with. And here's a pass. He's got his receiver, Rashawn Cook. He hits him in stride. Cook's going to be brought down at about the 30-yard line. But that play started at the 11.
This kid has a major league arm. He really does.
A 59-yard pass play.
I can't wait to see him.
That was number 83, Rashawn Cook, for the Olympians with that reception. Keith Miller drops back to pass. Once again, it goes across the middle. This one's nearly intercepted by Hiram Travis. That pass intended for Jamone McGee. 59 seconds now left.
Rashawn Cook is a
Leuzinger still with a chance to pull this one out. But the clock's working against them. Again, they're going to need the touchdown here, Dan. They're going to need a 2-point conversion just to be able to play for a tie if they're able to get an onside kick. If they don't get the 2-point conversion, they're going to need to score another touchdown. A lot of confusion on the field, but now it's underway. Here's a pass again. And this one's going to be intercepted by Brett Seeger. Seeger going down the sideline. Riley, the only one left to stop him, and Ken Riley, the quarterback, makes the stop, but not until after Brett Seeger returns it to the Leuzinger 43-yard line. And with 47 seconds left, you see the Leuzinger eye in the sky being lowered. Of course, it's pretty easy to play defense when you know the team has a pass, Dan. Here's Riley's pass. Seeger goes up, makes the interception. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on the Saxons, but I think that penalty is going to be after the interception. It's going to be a clipping penalty. There you see the clip on the replay. But the Saxons do maintain possession, 46 seconds left. The Leuzinger coaching staff, which operates with the eye in the sky. Thank you. They've lured the eye in the sky, which is an indication that the coaching staff has accepted that this game is now all but over. It's all over but the shouting.
Good effort by North tonight. They had a great game last week, and after 19 consecutive, the pendulum sometimes should swing the other way, and it looks like they have a victory here tonight against a very game Leuzinger Olympian club.
And Darlack, the quarterback, takes a knee. And I think you'll see him do it maybe one more time.
Well, they've had quick clocks, so they'll probably get one.
Looks like that's going to be the last play of the game. You see the Leuzinger team now, a very disconsolate team. Final score there, 17-6 in favor of the Saxons as the clock winds down. So they've had a very successful homecoming night tonight, Dan, for a team that has strung together now 2 consecutive victories after 19 consecutive defeats. Their crowd is awfully happy. It was homecoming. They had a beautiful fireworks show, and they defeat a Leuzinger team tonight by a score of 17-6 here at North Torrance High.
Well, tomorrow's paper may say break up North as they've won 2 in a row. Good effort by the North Torrance Saxons tonight. Leuzinger certainly gave it a great shot. The offense just couldn't seem to get moving as the game went on. The defense played well at many times, but the offense just couldn't seem to get it going.
Of course, the defeat drops Leuzinger to 2-4 in the Bay League. Torrance improves to 2-4. And that's it, fans. From North Torrance High, the Leuzinger Olympians go down to defeat by a score of 17-6. Again, unfortunate for Leuzinger in that it probably ends any hope of a playoff spot for them this year. But next week, they'll be traveling across town and looking to salvage something positive out of this game, because for these two schools, it makes their season when one beats the other. And right now, Leuzinger is going to be looking to avenge some of the anger that they feel right now in this defeat at Hawthorne next week, Dan.
Well, North Torrance just poured the Gatorade over the coach, and I know he's going to be cold. Good effort by both clubs tonight. Bay League action in November. There's nothing like it. And that'll do it for tonight's game.
For Dan Simeon, I'm Rufus Washington and the entire crew saying good night from North Torrance High School, and we'll see you next week at Hal Cap Field, fans. Good night.